It's the latest Nook ebook reader from Barnes & Noble and Lenovo. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out this. Well, I'm actually in the middle of reading a book, but this is the Nook 10-inch HD tablet designed with Lenovo from, of course, Barnes & Noble. Now, if you're not familiar with the Nook line, it is the Barnes & Noble version of the Amazon Kindle. In other words, it's an ebook reader, and it has its whole entire ecosystem. It has libraries, there's an online store, there's a newsstand. I'll show you a lot of that. But let's start by talking about the ebook reader itself. So here's the home screen because it's running Android. So I'm going to give you a quick tour in a second, but let me just tell you that this is also known as the Lenovo Tab M10 HD. It is a big, bright 10-inch HD screen, and it features an IPS HD display, 1280 by 800 resolution at 400 nits, which is the brightness level. And one cool thing is it has the TUV Rhinelander blue light system, which means that it's minimizing reflections and it's flicker free, so it's better for your eyes, which is good because you don't want to just use any old tablet because you're going to get a lot of eye fatigue. So they address that. 11 hours of battery life. You charge it on the bottom via USB-C, and in the box it comes with a USB-C charging cable and a wall charger. Pretty darn handy. It also, interestingly, comes with this, which is a tiny little micro SD card removal tool, because you can add a micro SD card to this to give you additional storage. Now, there are apparently some limitations about what you can actually put onto the card or not, so that's something you might want to investigate a little further if you have visions of, I can have every book ever and have everything ever published on ebooks. Well, probably 256 gig isn't going to be enough anyway, but suffice to say, you want to make sure that it's going to work the way you want. Now, also notice that I have it in a case. So I also have the Lenovo, what do they call this? The Lenovo Folio case. And this is a pretty good deal because it includes both the case and it includes a screen protector. So I guess you could say it's a free screen protector, but you're paying for both of them. And I will note that if you do this, you can actually view it sideways, and it will, if it was unlocked, it would rotate to sideways. This is obviously perfect for either reading a book in 2-column or watching a movie or something, right? Because this is a full Android tablet. So you can put any Android app on here, from Netflix to HBO Max to YouTube. So really handy. Now, I'm gonna get back to some more specs, but I wanna give you a little bit of a live demo. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unlock this, and then I'm going to record my screen. Hopefully this will work. Let's see, screen recorder. And then I will actually talk you through what I'm doing. So let's get that started. You can see I've personalized things a little bit. So in addition to all of the Nook software and apps on here, I've also added Hoopla, which is a program my local public library uses that lets me actually check out and read digital books and then check them back in. And yes, I've added the Amazon Kindle app, mostly just to show you that what's great about this is you can live in the entire Nook ecosystem, or you can go and jump over and do a Kindle book. You can mix and match. You can do, really almost whatever you want. But let's jump over to the bookstore. So this takes me to the Nook bookstore at Barnes & Noble. And obviously there's lots of books. There's a lot of different choices. In fact, the Nook library has 3.6 million ebooks. It also has, if I tap on Newsstand, it also gives me access to magazines and newspapers. So that's actually really cool. So lots to do. I can go to my own personal library. If I want to read a book, I can just tap on it and it will open the book. And here I am. I'm just reading the prologue of the new Total Blackout thriller. So I'm looking forward to that. But let me go back to where we were, and I'm going to come back on camera. Fundamentally, an ebook reader is a pretty straightforward device, right? You need a screen, you need the ability to display an ebook, and some way to turn pages, to have multiple books, to have it remember where your book is. So all of that's neatly covered. But what I really like about this is that it gives me so much more. I can go into the Google Play Store and choose from hundreds of thousands, if not millions of different apps and games and utilities. I can get things like an Office suite if I want to do some writing of my own. All of this on the tablet. It also supports Google Kids Space, so if I want to get this for my tween, then it's like having a tablet for them, but it comes with all of this ebook goodness and the Google Kids Space management system, so I can make sure that they're not accessing content I'm not comfortable with them seeing. So, really cool. Now, it also features a 2 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gig of ROM, and like I said, that micro SD card with the handy extraction device. And it's Bluetooth 5.0. It even includes FM radio and a 3.5 millimeter ear headphone jack. So you can plug in, you can listen to your favorite FM radio while you're reading an ebook, or Spotify, or Tidal, or really any of the dozens and dozens and dozens of music streaming services. All really cool. It also features 2 side speakers, and here's one thing I really was surprised by. It actually has Dolby Atmos. So it actually has a system to make it sound really good, and it does sound pretty good. Not so much through the built-in speakers, but if you plug in some headphones or something, you're gonna be pretty impressed. Here's another thing it has, right? This is a tablet, so it has cameras. So, in fact, it has a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, which is the one that's the same direction as the screen, and an 8 megapixel rear-facing camera. And I thought, all right, well, let's take this tablet and try it out. So here's a video I shot. And a couple of photos. So this one is the rear-facing camera, and then this one is the front-facing or selfie camera. Pretty darn nice for an ebook reader, really. Lots to like about this. So I will say that if we go quickly through the sides, that there's the USB-C on the bottom and cutouts for one of the speakers. On the right-hand side are the pretty typical Android power and volume up and down. On the top is the 3.5 millimeter and cutouts for the other speaker. So it's definitely designed for you to be like looking at it like this, or as I said, if you use this particular folio case, you could view it like this. And this is just terrific. So if I go to, let me just jump over to something like HBO Max, and you can see HBO Max is a little slow to load, but that's a pretty nice setup. This is a pretty nice thing to be able to do, in addition to having 20 of your favorite books and remembering where you are in all of them, and of course audiobooks and whatever else you might want to consume. So I like it. I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, here's a close-up of the rear-facing camera. It's very modest compared to modern like iPhone 12s and everything, but this is a modest device. This primarily is designed to be a really good ebook reader, and then everything else comes as a sort of bonus. Now, I will tell you that it is 9.5 by 5.8 by 2/10 of an inch thick. It's 15 ounces, so it's a little heavy. And this, I'm including the case on here too. I'm not a huge fan of the case because the edges are a little sharp. And I often will read an ebook holding it like this, and it's a little sharp, the edges on my finger. So I wish they had used a slightly different material, not to mention maybe some fun colors or something. There are third-party or aftermarket cases you can check out. You're kind of on your own with those, but it is a Lenovo Tab M10 HD, so if they say that it's compatible, you should be good to go there. Now, in terms of the device itself, I'm really impressed. I have been using this for a couple of weeks. I've read 3 or 4 books at this point. I read a graphic novel from Hoopla through my library, and the screen is bright and colorful. And I really don't have to stress out much at all about battery life, because every week or two I go ahead and I plug it in, and you're thinking 11 hours and that lasts a week? And the answer is, yeah, I read at bedtime for 30 to 60 minutes each night, and that's plenty for me to charge it once a week. And of course, you could just look at the battery and say, oh, it's looking like it's getting pretty empty. I should plug it in and give it another hour, right? It does have a couple of quirks. So it is running Android, so it's not quite as smooth an experience. And the Nook software is a little bit quirky in terms of, like, there are times when I just want to bring up the controls so that I can change font size, and it goes to the next page instead. And I'm like, I don't want to go to the next page, and I back up. And then I try to get that to come up, and it goes to the next page. So there's a little bit of a learning curve with that, but once you get the hang of it, as I've certainly done at this point, then it's really easy, and you just swipe and you swipe and you just keep reading your book, and it's just a pleasure. And the idea that I can have something this thick that has 10 or 15 books in it, well, obviously you're an ebook reader too, or ebook reader fan too, which is why you're checking this out. So really nice Android tablet, really slick integration into the Barnes & Noble Nook system at a pretty darn good price tag. It's about the price of, what, 3 or 4 best-selling hardbacks, and you've got this forever with all of its features. So let's get to the price of that and the folio case. But before we do, I'm going to ask if you can give me some feedback. Give me a thumbs up if you appreciate this. Leave a comment if there's something you wish I would have demonstrated or talked about and I didn't. And of course, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate each and every subscriber. It's really helpful. All right, well, the tablet here, I guess I will just push the button on the side. The tablet is the Nook 10-inch HD tablet designed by Lenovo, and it's $129.99 at barnesandnoble.com. And I am a fan. If you are wanting to check out the folio case, the case and screen cover, both in the same box, are $19.99 also at barnesandnoble.com. Just look under Nook Accessories, or you can buy it through a third party or aftermarket. Either way, this is a great entry into the Nook ecosystem, and all of the books you've ever read on your Nook will all automatically show up on this device once you log in. So if you're already part of the Barnes & Noble community, this is a nice upgrade. So I say check it out. I'm going back to that book because I can't believe I'm in the prologue. I need to get into the book. So I will have to catch you in my next video.